Good morning. Welcome to Curiosity Corner. My name's Brooks Ultimus, and during a regular day at the Science Center, I would be running around on the floor fixing exhibits, or in the workshop trying to come up with new ideas for exhibits and trying to cobble together interesting things for you guys to do. But today, I am going to show you how to make a kite out of just about nothing. I know you're all inside and you've got nothing on your list of things to do, but one of the things that I like to do, especially when it's sunny outside and the wind's blowing and we're starting to get warmer, that's what they tell me. Anyway, we want to make a kite, and we have to make it out of something that you might not think about making a kite out of. If you're looking around the house and you see something that may not actually scream kites at you, it may actually be a good thing to use to make a kite. It's part of being a scientist. You just don't have to be curious, but you have to be ingenious and you have to be creative. And I want you to all think about being creative when it comes to making a kite. I'm going to show you a kite I made and tested last week, and it actually flew. It's made out of coat hangers. So if you've got a bunch of these laying around the house, you've probably got the makings of a kite. I'm going to show you how I did it, and you can figure out the best way for you to do it, but I'm going to give you some pointers. So let's start out with things you're going to need. You're going to need duct tape, nothing better. And if you don't have duct tape, there's always packing tape. And I wouldn't recommend like Scotch magic, tape for wrapping packages, but if you got it, use it. You're going to need some glue, and you're going to need a roll of all that old wrapping paper that you didn't quite use during the holidays. Yeah, it's stuff that you wouldn't normally think about. So if we're going to make a kite out of coat hangers, the first thing we're going to have to do is a little bit of adjustment. And to do that, your mom might need to help you with this, or your dad. I've got this lovely pin snip, which I can easily cut off the coat hanger part, the hanger area. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay, we now have not much of a coat hanger, but taking your trusty duct tape, you're going to make it look a little different. You're going to bend it in like that and tape it so it looks like that. Same with this end. Put it in, little tape, yeah, that much. And then you got these two loose pieces. Those can just get bound together. And again, sometimes duct tape's a little bit wide, and you may have to alter that as well. So trim that out like that, and we're going to bind that together. Now we've got this lovely construction. You're going to need 4 coat hangers for this. So one like this. Take the next hanger, do the same thing. So you've got 2 of these. Next, we're going to take 2 complete coat hangers because we don't want to be totally destructive here. And we're going to put them together a lot like that. These can just be attached together here at the top, here, and here. So we've got 3 attach points. Again, we're going to use split tape. And voila, you have a cross piece. This is a really neat material. Hangers, they're great. Notice how they're nice and flexible. Kites need to be flexible because when they're in the wind, they're getting a lot of buffeting and you want them to bend rather than break. All right, so we've got these two, this little arrangement here, and we're going to attach these two together to make a long spar-like construction. And these can be attached in at 4 points. I'm doing this very quickly, which means it's probably not going to be perfect. But when you're doing it, take your time, because it counts, especially when it's at the end of your string, hundreds and hundreds of feet away from you. And it decides to fall apart. And if that happens, there'll probably be a nice tree waiting to catch it for you. All right, we've got a nice long piece. We got this piece. We're going to join them. Again, with the duct tape. Like this, I'm going to take right at the X. This is a main attachment point. The other thing I like about duct tape is you can wrap it, and it's almost like string, but it's not. It's string with goo on it, you know? String with goo. Who figured that out? Okay, that is unneat. That is really rough, but that is a kite. This is a kite, the main framework for your kite. Now, the only thing left to do before you put paper on is to put strings all the way around. And this is helpful. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And at each point, take a piece of tape and cover it so that your point looks like this. Do that here, 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 and here. Then either take a sharp instrument and poke a hole, or use a nice punch like I've got. So there you have it. A hole, and that hole is well suited to put a string through. So if you put a string through, yeah, it'll go through. Tie it off. And then go to here, which also has a piece of tape on it if you were doing it. Tie that off, so that it goes all the way around your kite and totally surrounds it like that. So once it's all strung up, it's time to cover it. And as I said, we have this lovely wrapping paper. And you would just lay it all out, take your frame, put it on top of the wrapping paper like that, and then take a pencil and trace all the way around your strings. Grab your scissors and cut it out. So you've got a piece of paper that's pretty much the same size of the outline of this, except that it's going to be just about an inch more than the string. So when you trace it out, leave about an inch all the way around the kite. And the reason you want that inch is because you're going to fold the paper over and crease it, and then take your handy Elmer's glue and glue all along that seam and stick it down. So it's going to be sticking over the string. So the string is giving the strength so it doesn't tear. And you've got this wonderful kite. The only other thing you need to do or think about is rigging. And so where's your string gonna actually be attached to this thing? And to do that, you need something to punch a hole with. Pencils are great. And that first X at the top of the kite, punch a hole right on the other side of that X into the paper. So you've got a hole there, and down here, this last little loop here, punch a hole there too. Now I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to take a piece of my duct tape, and I'm going to cover those holes. Cover the top hole, cover the bottom hole, and then punch them out again. The reason for the tape is it keeps it from tearing. It gives it strength when that string passes through the kite. So we're going to punch those out again, this time through the paper and the tape. And then we're ready to put the string in. I have this lovely blue string. I don't know where I found this, but it's cotton, and cotton's always the best as far as kite making goes. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to tell you something. One of those rules of kite making. The number one rule is never make a kite out of something metal. So that means I'm using coat hangers, but don't use coat hangers. I mean, metal coat hangers, because they conduct electricity, scientific. And if you get them stuck in a power line, that electricity will conduct all the way down your string into your hot little hand, and that's not good. Ben Franklin aside, it's not good to get struck by lightning with a metal kite either, because bad things can happen. So I'm going to push these strings through the holes I punched, and that doesn't mean it will actually go through. Boy, if you had a crochet hook, wouldn't that be nice? But I did manage to get the string through. There, it's coming out on my back end of the kite. I'm going to take it and tie it right here. Yeah, right. So as you can see, I tied it right to that that attachment point right over the hole. I'm going to take the other end and poke it through this end, this top hole. Yeah, right, that works. And tie it right to that first cross at the top of your kite. Okay, so if you turn your kite over, you have a nice little bridle here. Hang your kite and tip it so that it hangs tail down, just like that. Grab here, and we're going to make a nice little knot. This leaves you with a nice little loop, and this is right where you're going to attach your kite line. So when it's up in the air, it's flying like this. The last thing you want to do before you attach the tail, of course, is to bow the kite. And this is something a lot of people forget to do, but it's really important. Get a pretty good amount of string here. And we're going to go here. This is a horizontal bow, sure. This is so that when it's in the air, the kite is presenting a convex. See how that looks when it's bowed? It's going to have a convex side to the wind, and this makes it much more steady and much more stable. So we're going to push down until it bows and stick it through the hole over here. Okay, I'm going to make a half a knot, because that enables me to actually tighten this. So I'm going to bow it, tighten it like that, and then finish my knot. Sure, I can do this. Boy, if you had help, wouldn't that be nice, huh? It's always good to get adults if they can help you. That's what they're good for. Anyway, there. We now have a kite that is just about ready for the kite field. The only other thing you might want is tail. Big believer in tail. It needs at least 12 feet of tail, maybe 18 feet of tail. The more wind, the more tail you're going to need. Attach, tie. You are so ready. Well, that's what I've got. I want to see what you've got. Look around the house. Be creative. Till next time. Take care.